Okay, so imagine this for a second. What if the biggest hurdle, the real bottleneck in scientific discovery, isn't actually coming up with the brilliant idea, but instead it's the incredibly slow, sometimes tedious process of actually building the specialized software you need to test that idea? What if AI could step in there?
Well, that's precisely the core problem this really fascinating paper from Google DeepMind and Google Research is tackling.
Right.
Scientists often hit this wall, building what the paper calls empirical software.
Empirical software?
Yeah, for scoreable tasks.
Yeah.
Basically software that's designed specifically to maximize some kind of measurable quality score. Think like analyzing genetic data, forecasting diseases. It's everywhere.
And that's often the slowest part.
It's frequently the rate-limiting step, yeah. Moving from the hypothesis to the actual discovery.
So what's the solution they've come up with? It sounds pretty ambitious.
It really is. It's an innovative AI system, and it combines two powerful things. Large language models, LLMs,
Sure. With tree search, TS. And this system automatically generates and then refines expert-level scientific software.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just helping scientists code.
No, it's actually outperforming human experts in many cases. That's the really striking part.
Outperforming? How?
Well, get this. And for you, our technical audience, this is where it gets really interesting. The system discovered 40 new methods for single-cell data analysis.
40.
And they beat the top human-developed methods out there.
Yeah.
It also generated 14 models that were better than the official CDC ensemble for forecasting COVID-19 hospitalization.
Better than the CDC's own model.
Yep. And beyond that, state-of-the-art results in areas like geospatial analysis, neuroscience, even complex numerical integration.
Okay, so this isn't just some, cool tech demo. This sounds like it could genuinely shift how science gets done. Exactly. The real insight here isn't just that the AI is powerful, but that it might fundamentally change the process of science itself. Accelerating discovery by tackling that software bottleneck head-on, it's potentially a huge game changer. #1, the scientific software bottleneck and the vision.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit more. We mentioned empirical software and scoreable tasks. Can you define those a little more clearly? Why is building this stuff such a headache for scientists, maybe even for some of you listening right now?
Sure. So at its core, empirical software is just code written with one main goal: maximize a specific, definable quality score. Usually that means how well it fits observed data or achieves a certain outcome.
Right, like accuracy or prediction power.
Exactly. And scoreable tasks are simply those problems where you can objectively measure how good a solution is using such a score. And these tasks are, they're absolutely everywhere in science, applied math, engineering.
Can you give some examples?
Oh, absolutely. Think about major breakthroughs, Nobel Prizes, even density functional theory in chemistry, simulating how molecules move, predicting protein structures. These all rely heavily on sophisticated empirical software.
It's fundamental stuff.
Totally fundamental. But the challenge for researchers, for us, is huge. Building this software is slow, it's difficult, it demands really deep domain knowledge.
Takes years sometimes.
Well, often years, yeah. And critically, the design choices researchers make, they're usually based on intuition, experience, maybe what's worked before, not really a systematic, exhaustive search of all the possibilities.
Right, you can't possibly try everything by hand.
Exactly. And as a researcher, you feel that pinch, right? The sheer time investment limits how many ideas you can actually test, how ambitious you can be. It's a real bottleneck.
Okay, so that's the problem. That's the bottleneck. How does this AI system actually break through it? What are the key ingredients allowing it to generate and, crucially, improve this software automatically, even better than humans?
Yeah, the system's really quite elegant in its design. It hinges on combining two main components. First, a large language model, an LLM.
Which are great at understanding and writing code.
Exactly. And second, tree search, or TS. Tree search is a method for systematically exploring a huge space of possibilities, deciding which paths look most promising.
Okay, so how do they work together?
Think of it like an iterative loop, a cycle. The LLM proposes changes to the code mutations, refinements, new ideas. Then the tree search component evaluates these changes using that quality score we talked about.
The score tells it if the change was good or bad.
Precisely. It uses that score as a signal to guide the search, focusing effort on the most promising directions in the vast tree of possible code solutions. It's like a highly intelligent, directed trial and error process.
Interesting. How does this compare to older ideas like, say, genetic programming?
Yeah, good question. It builds on those ideas but pushes beyond them. So traditional genetic programming often uses more random mutations. Here, the LLM's changes are semantically aware, meaning the LLM understands the purpose or intent of the code it's changing. So its suggestions are much more intelligent, more targeted, less random.
Ah,
And
yeah.
compared to, say, generative programming, which often relies on predefined templates, this LLM plus tree search approach is way more flexible. It can synthesize truly novel code structures.
And it can pull in outside knowledge too, right?
Yes, that's another key aspect. It actively integrates complex research ideas from external sources, think highly cited papers, textbooks, even knowledge from other specialized AI agents. It essentially reads the literature to inform its coding.
That's quite something. But how did they actually prove this core idea works? That the LLM plus tree search combo is really better?
Right, validation is key. They used a clever benchmark, 16 basic Kaggle playground competitions.
Why Kaggle?
Because they offer rapid feedback, clear metrics, and crucially, performance ranks against thousands of human competitors. It's a great way to calibrate.
And the results?
Pretty clear-cut. The tree search approach significantly outperformed just asking the LLM for a solution once, or even asking it 1,000 separate times.
1,000 times, wow.
Yeah. It showed that the search process, the iterative refinement guided by the score, is critical for finding those really high-quality needle-in-a-haystack solutions.
So the search is key.
Definitely. They also showed that giving the LLM specific advice in the prompt like, hey, try implementing a boosted decision tree library from scratch without using existing libraries significantly boosted its performance.
So it can take direction too.
Exactly. It proves the system can effectively incorporate explicit, expert-level guidance into its code generation process. #3, demonstrating superhuman performance across diverse scientific fields.
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating for, everyone listening who works in these fields. Let's dive into some specific examples where this AI system really shone, starting with bioinformatics.
Right. Bioinformatics. A notoriously tricky area is combining single-cell RNA sequencing data, scRNA-seq data. It's called batch integration.
What's the challenge there?
Well, you get data from different experiments, different batches, and they have technical variations, noise, these batch effects. You need to remove that noise, but without accidentally removing the real biological differences you care about.
Correct, tricky balance.
Incredibly tricky. There are nearly 300 different tools out there trying to solve this exact problem.
300.
Yeah. And the AI system, it discovered 40 novel methods that didn't exist before. And these outperformed all the currently published methods on a standard benchmark called the Open Problems Leaderboard.
40 new top methods. How?
The key was its ability to programmatically generate and test recombinations of existing ideas. So it would take pieces from different established methods and cleverly combine them.
Like hybrid approaches.
Exactly. For example, one top method they called BBKNN-TS took a technique for noise correction called combat-corrected PCA embedding and fused it with a method for finding cell relationships, BBKNN's k-nearest neighbors. That specific combination significantly boosted performance.
And it wasn't just finding variations on one theme.
No, they checked that using semantic embeddings. The solutions it generated were really diverse. Some were linear methods, some used deep learning, others were nonlinear but not deep learning. A wide range.
Okay, from single cells, let's zoom way out. Public health. You mentioned COVID-19 forecasting. That seems incredibly complex and high stakes.
Absolutely critical, yes. Forecasting COVID hospitalizations weeks in advance helps guide policy decisions, but it's super challenging. The disease dynamics are nonlinear, the real-time data is noisy.
And the benchmark was the CDC's own forecast.
Yes, the CDC COVID-19 Forecast Hub, which combines many models into a powerful ensemble. It's a very strong benchmark.
And the AI.
The AI system generated 14 distinct models that outperform the official COVID Hub ensemble. Not just the ensemble, but also all the individual top-performing models that feed into it.
Outperformed how? Is there a metric?
Yeah, they use the weighted interval score, or WIS. Lower is better. The AI's models averaged a WIS of 26, while the official ensemble was at 29. That's a significant improvement in predictive accuracy and uncertainty calibration.
How did it achieve that? What was the trick?
It often came down to what they called synergistic hybridization. Again, combining different types of models.
Like the bioinformatics example.
Kinda, yeah. For instance, it might fuse an epidemiological model like CHR trend COVID with a purely statistical one like UMass R6 pooled. It also incorporated novel strategies suggested by other AI agents involved in the project.
Other AI agents?
Yeah, like one called Deep Research suggested using Monte Carlo simulations for better uncertainty estimates. Another, co-scientist, brought in advanced techniques like spatiotemporal graph neural networks to model how the virus spreads between states.
So it's learning from different modeling traditions and other AIs.
Exactly. It's really good at that kind of cross-pollination of ideas.
Okay, that's impressive adaptability.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears again, maybe to something more fundamental in computational math. Solving really difficult integrals. How did it handle those?
Right, numerical integration. It's the bedrock for so many simulations, but some integrals are just beasts. Standard algorithms, like the quad function in SciPy that many of us use.
Yeah, familiar with that one.
They can fail, they might not converge, or they might miss important features of the function, or lose precision due to calculations canceling each other out.
So what did the AI do?
The code it evolved managed to correctly evaluate 17 out of 19 really tough, held-out integrals. These had tricky features, like oscillations or domains stretching to infinity, semi-infinite domains.
And Quad failed on these.
Quad failed on all 19 of them. The AI solution got 17 right within a tight 3% error margin.
Wow. How did it just write a whole new integration routine?
It was smarter than that. It actually enhanced the existing quad function. For those infinite domains, for example, it figured out how to partition them into specific, geometrically increasing chunks. Then it converted the integral over that infinite domain into an infinite series and applied a mathematical trick called Euler's transformation to make that series converge much faster.
Clever.
Very. And the neat part is, it acts like a wrapper or a drop-in replacement. It tries quad first, and only if quad reports an error or fails does it kick in its own specialized techniques.
So it diagnoses the problem and applies a fix adaptively.
Exactly. The insight is its ability to not just replace, but to understand the failure modes of a standard tool and provide targeted enhancements.
Amazing. And the paper covers even more ground, right? Can you maybe quickly hit the highlights for some other areas just to show the breadth?
Sure, absolutely. So in Geospatial Analysis, it tackled remote sensing image segmentation, basically identifying objects in satellite images. It produced state-of-the-art results on the DLRSD benchmark.
Oh.
By finding really effective combinations of existing neural network architectures like UNet++ FA with powerful image encoders pre-trained on ImageNet and even newer transformer-based models like SegFormer, plus smart use of data augmentation.
Okay, what else?
Neuroscience. Predicting brain-wide neural activity in zebrafish using the ZAPI benchmark. Its models beat all the baselines, including complex video models specifically designed for this kind of data.
And faster too?
Orders of magnitude faster to train, less than 2 hours on a single T4 GPU versus like 36 hours on 16 high-end A100 GPUs for the video models. The key was combining different feature types, temporal patterns, a learned global brain state, and neuron-specific information.
Right. Any others?
Yeah, general time series forecasting. On a benchmark called GiftEvil with 28 diverse datasets, it created specific solutions for each dataset that outperformed general foundation models and standard deep learning approaches.
And it made a general library too.
It did. It built a unified general-purpose forecasting library from scratch that was also highly competitive. It used an adaptive approach, modeling things like trends, seasonality, holidays, and subtracting them out iteratively. Really sophisticated stuff.
So, pulling this all together, what's the big takeaway here for us, for the technical community? This system clearly has huge potential. What are the wider implications for how research gets done and AI's role in it?
Well, I think it's a really significant step forward. It definitely builds on older ideas, genetic programming, generative programming, using LLMs for code, AutoML.
Right, it stands on the shoulders of giants.
Yep, absolutely. But it goes beyond them by offering something more like a general-purpose scientific problem-solving engine. It's not just automating one specific task in one domain.
Because it can learn and integrate knowledge.
Exactly. Its ability to understand the problem, pull in relevant research ideas from papers or textbooks, and synthesize genuinely novel code solutions makes it applicable across a vast range of scientific challenges.
And the main benefit for researchers
is speed and scale, really. The system can explore the solution space so much more exhaustively and rapidly than any human team possibly could. What might take weeks or months of painstaking human effort trying different coding approaches, debugging, testing the system can potentially do in hours or days.
So it flips the script.
Yeah.
Software development goes from being the bottleneck to being an accelerator.
That's the promise, yeah. It frees up the human scientists, frees you up to focus on the higher level thinking, formulating the hypotheses, interpreting the results, asking the next big question. Imagine having an incredibly smart, tireless coding partner that doesn't just implement your ideas, but actively invents new ways to test them.
This has been a really fascinating look at how AI is evolving from just an assistant to, well, an active driver of scientific discovery through automated software creation. It really does feel like a game changer.
I think so too. And the message for you, for everyone in the technical community, is that progress in basically any scientific field where you can define a score, where you can measure success computationally, well, that progress might be about to accelerate dramatically.
Right.
So the question becomes, how could this kind of capability empower your research? What tough empirical software challenges are holding you back right now that maybe an AI like this could tackle? It really opens up possibilities.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
We've seen how this system generated dozens of novel methods, outperformed national benchmarks, tackled fundamental math problems. The future of scientific software, and maybe discovery itself, looks very different. What new problems will you set an AI to solve?